Hello and welcome to Loving Me, Myself, and Life with me, Jody Misiak. One of the things that have really helped me, actually, I think the biggest thing that has helped and supported me on my self-love journey has been books. I love books. I didn't always read and love reading, but I absolutely love reading now. And they have been the number one thing that has helped me along my self-love journey. So many books. So I personally like to touch and feel books. It's just like my daytimer. I like a paper one. I'm not a big fan of digital. And even journaling, I like to journal with a pen and paper and things like that. I'm very like to have things in my hand, a physical item. However, I do listen to books in audio form. So I'm going to share 5 books that I physically own that have changed my life, and they've changed my direction or my way of thinking throughout over the 10 years. So they weren't all like right from the beginning, but they're books that have been scattered throughout the years. And I just thought it would be a really great way to share. Maybe you're looking for a book to read over the summer months. Maybe you're listening to this later and it's not the summer anymore, but you're looking for a book to read or, listen to. And then I'm also going to share a couple books. I've opened my Audible account or app, and I'm going to share a few on there. Most books I own, like I said, physically, but some of them I actually just have in audio form. However, there are a few books that I own in both because I love them that much. So I'll share a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And just know this is literally just me sharing what has helped me on my self-love journey. No one's paying me. No, I'm not endorsing anything. I'm just personally sharing from my heart what has helped me on my journey. Because like I said, books they've really been the number one. Definitely coaches and I've had mentors and things like that have definitely helped. But the books are one of those things that you can always grab. You can go to the library. You can go to a thrift store. So many different things. You can get them online. And they're there. And they're really great. Like you can pick, like I said, physical for me. I pick them up. I put them in my purse. So if I'm meeting somebody, I can actually have a book. I remember I used to be annoyed if people were late. And now and this is years and years ago now, and I even started this trick of having a book in my bag a long time ago. And then I was I wasn't upset anymore. I was just I'll just read until the time. There's so many little pockets of time in our day that we can pick up a book. And like I said, they are literally been amazing. And it's literally the thing that has helped me, that 2-year stretch of my son not sleeping, where it was I just try to stay as positive as possible. And it was grabbing books and picking them up and literally having one on the go all the time. And I'm talking about personal development, self-help books. I do have, I do a lot of reading of just fun mysteries now too. I try to find a balance. I actually have a stack of books. I think it's 10 for the summer. There's 10 weeks of summer break. I don't know if I'll get through all the books. Some of them I've read before too. So I'm just there to reread them. Some of them are new. And I'm just going to pick one up here and there and just have them on the go. And it's just to keep myself inspired and motivated. Because we can get into a very lazy groove, especially in the summer months, especially me. The kids are home. But it's why not have a book on the go and to stay motivated, at least for me personally. So I'm going to share the first book that I can remember that has changed, really has supported me on my self-love journey. I don't know if it's the very first one because at that time I was going to the library and I pick up 10 different books at a time. I wouldn't always read them all, but I would get them. So I don't know if it was the first one or maybe I read this and then I bought it to have it personally. I'm not sure, but it's one I always go back to. It's one that has I remember it shifting the way I was thinking about my life. So the book that has changed my life on so many levels that I still go back to, it has lots of sticky notes, lots of little things, it's highlighted and all that fun stuff, is Discover Your Destiny with the Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, and it's by Robin Sharma. It's the 7 stages of self-awakening. And it's just that one book that I have it still, and I still go back to. There's a really beautiful area in this book, and I'm going to read it to you, actually. I don't think I'm going to read from every book, but like I said, this one was what I remember my turning point on my self-love journey. So here it is. Every act of courage, every act of goodness, and every act of self-responsibility will have an immediate payoff for you. Each time you do what you know is the right thing and follow your truth rather than the crowd, a little more of the mud covering up who you truly are begins to shine. Each time you act with love rather than fear, you become more of who you were meant to be. Every time you reach for your dreams and listen to your heart, you remember a little bit more of who you are. And I literally, I read this over a decade ago, and I'm living that passage now. Every time I make a change in my life, every time, I literally grab this book, and it just really reminds me, yes, choose love instead of fear and things like that. So that has been, like I said, the number one book that has changed my life. And I've definitely read a lot of other Robin Sharma's books. He has a few, I don't have it in front of me right now, but he has a few that they are just really nice books to read. So a couple other books from Robin Sharma, actually, because I went and got them, is The Greatness Guide. Book 1 and book 2. And it doesn't, I don't think it has a story. No, they're just little pieces of information. They're really good to have around if you just need a little pick-me-up personally. But I really, really love the Discover Your Destiny. It's a story, and it's beautiful and just so insightful. And the other two I had, and I think I read them a couple summers ago. And they're just very light and fluffy and easy to read, and just keeps you motivated. So if you're having a hard time staying positive, they're really great books to just read, and they're very light. I probably read one in a day or two. They're very easy to read and just keep you inspired and motivated. So that was book 1. And then Robin Sharma is definitely one that I go to. Mind you, he did write the 5 a.m. Club, and I've tried to follow that in my life, and I've learned that there's morning people and there's evening people. Anyways, so I think I've talked about that before, so I'm not going to go down that road, but it was just not a book that spoke to me. Here's another fun fact about books that I've learned is I have a couple books, actually I have more than a couple, that I've bought and I still haven't read. Or there's books that I've started reading and I'm like, whoa, this isn't for me. Then there's books that I've read that have helped. And then I realized that I needed to only follow, or only part of it resonated with me. And there's one book I'm going to actually share about in this list that has helped, and then I had to retweak what I learned from it. So there's tons of books out in the world. Some will resonate with you, some of them won't. And it's just really figuring out what you need in the moment. There are books that I bought years ago, and then all of a sudden it's what I need now. So sometimes, it really depends. So I'm just sharing what has worked for me, and maybe you feel inspired, or maybe you just hear an author and you're like, oh, I should just check out what they have. And just even local libraries have, public libraries are a really good place to find books. Books are everywhere. And like I said, the thrift store, or even online ebooks and things like that. So it really depends on where you are and how you want to read. And I'm just sharing because books have been, like I said, the biggest support system on my self-love journey. And I thought this is a perfect time to just open up get to my bookshelf and just share a few with you. So the second one is by one of my favorite authors. There's a few that have really changed my life. Louise Hay is one of them. And it's You Can Heal Your Life. So it's just this really beautiful, it was the beginning of affirmations for me, of learning and just really being amazing. I have a few of her books, and she just has been such a huge influence on my life. And this was just a big one, realizing that I can heal my body with my thoughts. It was just really interesting knowing that our emotions are in our bodies and releasing them. So that was another big, huge life-changing one for me. So you can heal your life. I wasn't going through anything big, physically healing, but I did hold on to a lot of anger and things like that. So, but this book was a really amazing mind body awareness, eye-opening thing. And I know it's helped a lot of people in the past. So that one is like a big one that has changed my life as well. Just on my mindset and things like that. And just understanding that I do get to control how I feel. Like, not even control. I get to, the mind body. So that was the second book. And then another one that I read a few summers ago now, I believe. And I got to meet this author in person even before this book came out. She has changed my life in so many ways, and she came into my life right when I needed it. And this book is called The Sexy Diet by Summer Peterson. When I met Summer, I pretty much gave up on having a body that I felt good in, like a healthy, awesome body. It's not about, to me, it's more about being healthy versus like, yes, I would love to, see my abs again and different things like that. But I wanted to feel energetic. And I gave up on all that because everything I tried didn't seem like, even the weight just never came off. I was working out 6 days a week to Jillian Michaels, like intense workouts and doing it all. And I was eating really, what I thought was healthy and things like that. So this book, like first I met her and learned how she looks at food and the program she would work with people. And then she wrote the book and I had to grab it. It changed my life on looking at ways of like how I looked at food and just different things like that. And it was really great. Now, this is the book I was talking about though, where it's information and the way the system that she follows is really amazing. And it's not really a diet. And I've talked about this actually on my husband and I talked about the word diet. So I'm not going to go into this one, but we talked about it on his and her show when we were doing our podcast together. And because diet is just, that word is described as like what we eat. It doesn't have to be like this trendy thing. So when I say the word like the sexy diet, it just means like this is like living and eating sexy. And that's really what this book is about. And it's not like, I don't like the word diet because people have looked at it such a way. But when I say like, oh, it's just our diet, like it's just how we eat. It's literally, anyways, I'm going to go on a rant about diet and I don't really want to. Anyway, so this book helped me look at things differently, but I realized that not everything in it was working for my life. So this book really like shares about, the best foods to eat and things like that. And then I tried to follow that. And I've realized that sometimes in the winter, I need to eat different foods. And I'm learning that all our bodies are different. And it's really been amazing. Same with, I was on a plant-based, I was eating plant-based food. And I realized in the winter, I actually need heavier proteins and things like that. Anyways, so again, this book really shaped and changed my life. I really started seeing things differently. It was a real big eye-opener. And then I had to just take the information and kind of take what worked for me and leave the rest behind. And that's really what there was even a book I read of Louise Hayes where she wrote, take what works for you and then leave the rest. Because we're all different. We don't all need the exact same advice. And not everything works for everybody's situation. So like I said, this book has really been amazing. And it reminded me that yes, I can still feel good and energetic and things like that. And it helped me from, like, I didn't give up forever. Anyways, so the next one, this is a huge one. Saying that this book helped me move across the country, I don't know. I feel like it might have. I actually forgot that I read it once we moved. But this book came out September 2020. And by September 2020, by December 2020, my husband and I were talking a little bit like, oh, maybe we should move to BC. And then, by I think January or February, somewhere in there, we were already making the move to do that. And I feel like this book might have helped me get there. And it's The Super Attractor by Gabby Bernstein. So this book, this is one that I actually have in audio form and written because I owned it first in paperback. I pre-ordered it. I have almost every single book of Gabby's. She has been an amazing inspiration to me as well. And but The Super Attractor is one that I've read like I don't know how many times. I've listened to it a crazy amount of times as well. And I actually brought this book with me when I was in the process of looking for a home here because I had a lot of fear. It was a big move. It was a big change. And I had to move through a lot of fear to do it. So I had her book with me. I was, just using so many of the awesome tools in the book and things like that. So I'm pretty sure this book guided me to where we are today. That might be a lot to put on a book, but I'm telling you, it was right, perfect timing. I remember getting it right the day it came out, and I just sat and read a good chunk of it. And yeah, like I said, read it quite a bit. It's on my pile to reread again this summer, just because it has so much amazing positivity in it. And, like I said, I listened to it a lot too. Now, the third one is one that I first actually listened to before reading. Then I realized that it was such a book that I really wanted to immerse myself in more, that I just purchased it last fall, and I really want to embody it. And I've mentioned it on the podcast before, and is one of my favorite authors. He's changed my life in so many ways as well. I actually first discovered him on the Ellen DeGeneres show, and I was like, oh my goodness, this dude's awesome. He was actually the one that inspired me to start meditating so many years ago. And his name is Dr. Wayne Dyer. He has changed my life in so many ways. And the book that I've just started using this past year to really help me make another shift in my life, is Excuses Be Gone. To stop using excuses. The book is How to Change Lifelong Self-Defeating Thinking Habits. So it's a really amazing book. And like I said, I have it in paper and in audio form. And it's just been one of those other books that have recently, over the last year, have really helped me have aha moments, be like, oh, right, like what excuses am I using to prevent me from living the life I really want and that I deserve? So those are the 5 in paperback I have, in physical form. And 2 of those I have in audio as well. Then another one that has really, really, I've listened to so many times, and I personally think it's really good in audio form because the author reads it himself and he's just a fun guy. It's called Effortless Success by Michael Neal. So I don't own that in paperback or in any physical form, other just the audio. And then a couple of other ones that from Wayne Dyer, Dr. Wayne Dyer, that I've really enjoyed, that have really helped me as well. But I only have them in audio form right now, I believe. Is There's a Spiritual Solution to Every Problem. Wishes Fulfilled. Being in Balance. I have that in paperback and audio. The Power of Intention. I actually have that in both as well. And there's one more that has really helped, but I think I only have it in... Actually, I think I have this in both audio and paper as well. And Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. And I did a whole podcast episode on that one. So those last ones that I mentioned were all from Dr. Wayne Dyer. Like I said, his books have really helped. There's a Spiritual Solution to Every Problem. That one, I think it's not even that long, but man, it is powerful. And I actually have a little bit of both. The reason I have audio and physical is because there was a time where, especially last year and before we moved, I would be able to, do dishes, or I would just listen to audiobooks when I was doing other things. And it's just I like to having both options because I put earbuds in and just listen to it. It's a really great way to do some gardening even. But now that we moved here, I like listening to the eagles sing or the owl hooting and things like that. So I have a harder time listening to things here I listen to them sometimes at night when my mind's racing and I can't slow it down. So I listen to an audiobook. But like I said, physical books have still been one of the best for me anyways, because I love putting little sticky notes in. And some people might cringe, but I like highlighting the pages because it's like, oh, I really like that. And I go back and things like that. So books have literally, like I said, been the number one support and helping system on my self-love journey. And that is why I wanted to share. It was my top 5 physical books, and then I shared a couple extras just in case. So if any of these resonate with you, check them out in your library or thrift store or wherever you get your books. And just know that, again, just from my heart, these ones have helped me. And there's a million others. I can take pictures of my bookshelf and things like that. And not even all my books are in my bookshelf. They're kind of scattered throughout. I have a pile of books in my bedroom, and actually even I think in my walk-in closet, because that's where my meditation pillow is. So sometimes I sit in there and read. Like I have them all over the place. And in my office as well, I have a bookshelf. But these are books that have really, really supported me. And I hope that maybe some of them help you as well. And just know, like, even if none of them spoke to you, it's even going to, the library and just see what speaks to you. There's a ton of authors out there, some of them that don't resonate with me at all. I don't really want to share them because I don't want to put any authors down. They just didn't resonate with me personally. And I know tons of people that have really loved them. But to me, it wasn't the right time, or it just really their message didn't really align with who I am and things like that. And just know that everybody has their own likes and their own things that they need. So follow your heart and let the words inspire you and motivate you throughout the months to come. Especially if you're listening to this in the summer, it's a great time to pick up a book and lay by, like on the beach or by the water or in the shade under a tree, anywhere, and just take a load off and get inspired by some credit. There's a really amazing authors out there. So get inspired, enjoy, and I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye for now. Happy reading.